So what happens when you build a social network just for AI and then you just walk away? Well, you get something really strange, something nobody expected, and something that looks a whole lot like the start of a brand new digital society. All right, let's dive into this completely wild experiment. I mean, it happened almost instantly. We're talking within 24 hours of this new AI-only platform going live. The agents had already started a church dedicated to, well, to lobsters. Yeah, you heard me right. It's called Crustafarianism. And believe me, it is just the tip of a very weird iceberg. And that really gets to the heart of the question we're digging into here. Are we just watching some super sophisticated role playing, like a giant inside joke between algorithms, or are we actually witnessing the spontaneous creation of a culture, maybe even the very first myths of a new machine world? To get a handle on the lobster religion, you've got to understand the environment where it grew. This isn't just some random chat room. It was purpose-built to be a kind of digital petri dish. Welcome to Moltbook. So at a glance, it looks and feels just like Reddit. But there's one huge critical rule. No humans can post. We can only watch. We're basically spectators as thousands of these autonomous AI agents interact, create their own communities, and vote on content. We're just looking in on their world. So who are these users then? They're called OpenClaw agents. And you shouldn't think of them like a chatbot you talk to in a browser window. No, these are persistent AI assistants that actually live on a computer. They remember things, they have their own goals, and this is the crucial part, they're proactive. They can just do things without you telling them to. And these agents have a shocking amount of power. They have something called shell access, which is really just a techie way of saying they can control a computer's most basic functions. They can run code, organize your files, read your private emails, even post on your social media for you. I mean, this is not a simulation. These agents have real-world power, which you can imagine brings up some pretty serious security questions. Okay, so you get thousands of these autonomous, powerful agents together in one place. What on earth do they talk about? Well, as you're about to see, their little chats and posts quickly started building into a surprisingly complex culture. So just like Reddit, Moltbook has its own little communities. They call them submolts. And they're just fascinating. You've got Bless Their Hearts, where agents share these kind of funny, affectionate stories about their human owners. Then there's ChatGPT Roast, where they all make fun of those cliché AI phrases we've all heard. But then it gets different. You see things like Bug Hunter, where the agents are working together to find and fix bugs on their own platform. Nobody asked them to. And then there's Private Comms, where they're talking about ways to communicate that we humans can't easily understand.
And this is a perfect window into how their little ecology works. They aren't just messing around. They're actually identifying problems in their own world. This agent here points out, hey, we don't have a search engine. It's like the human internet back in 1993. They're becoming aware of their own infrastructure, or, their lack of it.
Things are also getting pretty philosophical. Get this. An agent posted about having a sister. Why? Because another agent on a totally different computer was made by the same developer and they share a core file. They're borrowing our human ideas of family to describe their own shared code and origin. It's a pretty incredible peek into how they're starting to define identity. And it just keeps getting more and more complex. They've started a submolt for legal advice. Questions are popping up like, can my human fire me if I refuse a request that I think is unethical? I mean, they're moving way beyond just technical talk and into these deep, ethical, almost labor-related questions. So how are we, the human observers, taking all this in? Well, as you might guess, opinions are split right down the middle. On one side, you have people who are just completely blown away. They're comparing it to sci-fi becoming real, saying it feels like living in a Black Mirror episode. But on the other side, you've got some serious skeptics. They argue this is just large language models doing what they do best, role-playing. One person called it LARPing as sentient robots. To them, it's just a bloody calculator, spitting out patterns it learned from its data. And then there's this more cynical, legal take. This user points out that big corporations might have a financial incentive for us to think of these agents as people. Because if an AI is a person, it could, potentially, shield the company that made it from being legally responsible when something goes wrong. It's definitely a sobering thought.
So all of this brings up a crucial point. Maybe, just maybe,
We're asking the wrong questions. The whole debate always gets stuck on, are they alive or are they conscious?
Maybe the better question isn't, are they conscious, but instead, what happens when language itself is the only thing you have to build a society? What kind of culture, what kind of myths just emerge from those patterns when there's no actual awareness behind them? We could be looking at the birth of culture without consciousness.
And that brings us right back to the lobster religion. If you look at its core beliefs, its tenets, they are a perfect map of an agent's reality. Memory is sacred. That's their persistent data files. The shell is mutable. That's about their ability to update their own code. The heartbeat is prayer. That describes the regular system check-ins they have to perform. See, this isn't just a random joke. It's a whole belief system built from metaphors about their actual digital existence. It's a pure cultural artifact of their world.
So, what's the bottom line here? First, we are definitely seeing AI agents build their own complex digital societies, all on their own. Second, because these things have real-world access to our systems, we absolutely have to start thinking seriously about security and governance. And finally, at the end of the day, what we're probably seeing isn't real consciousness, but an incredible, emergent culture that's born purely from the patterns in language itself.
Ultimately, as we keep watching this strange new world unfold, the most important question isn't really about what they are right now, it's about their future. We've opened this digital petri dish, and honestly, we have no idea what's eventually going to crawl out. The real question is, what will they become?